Okay. So the Sunrise Movement, now, I don't know if you remember, but the Sunrise Movement participated, the Sunrise Movement, which is that environmental group led by young people, they took part in the task force for the environment of the Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders bullshit task force thing. And when they did that, I told them, don't do that. Because Joe Biden isn't going to listen to you anyway. And he's just going to say, look, the Sunrise Movement is on board with my climate plan. And then he's going to use you. And that's what's called being co-opted. And, well, that's exactly what happened, because now here's the Sunrise Movement. They're now protesting Joe Biden, which is great that they're doing that. We are outside Joe Biden's campaign office in Philadelphia demanding that he fulfill his climate mandate. We elected you, Joe, and now it's time to act. Here they are.
Biden, these are letters from people, the young people that got you in office. We need you to be brave right now for our futures, for our generation, because we're counting on you.
Okay, he's going to betray you, just to let you know. But here's what Joe Biden thinks about you and the millennials.
And so the younger generation now tells me how tough things are. Give me a break. No. I have no empathy for it.
Sorry, that's the guy you just helped get elected. So I warned them. And I get that but there you go. The Horse Whisperer says, and by the way, this is what they're supposed to be doing. They're supposed to be pressuring him. They should have been doing this all along. But Joe Biden was bullshitting them all along. He was giving them lip service. And I don't know what, they were never going to get anything out of Joe Biden concrete. It was a fool's errand. Better to go spend your time. I mean, whatever. I'm like, they're doing good activism, whatever, but this is so easily predicted. But that's great that they're doing this. They're not waiting around for Joe Biden to be inaugurated. They see what he's doing. They see who he's putting in his his cabinet. They see who's on his transition team, and this is what they're saying.
Biden, these are letters from people, the young people that got you in office. We need you to be brave right now for our futures, for our generation, because we're counting on you.
Yeah. They're demanding he fulfill his climate mandate. We elected you, Joe. Now it's time to act. Okay. So this guy called the Horse Whisperer, he tweets out, has no one mentioned that Joe Biden needs control of the Senate and that hinges on elections in Georgia? Maybe focus on those. Let's focus on winning the White House first. Then we can talk policy. Let's focus on winning the Georgia Senate seat first. Then we can talk policy. Let's focus on winning the midterms. Then we can talk policy. Let's focus on winning re-election. Then we can talk politics. So that's why this guy, the Horse Whisperer, is full of shit. And it's just a corporatist propaganda machine. That's who the Horse Whisperer is, in case you don't know. Oh, would you please stop with your activism around a guy who's funded by the fossil fuel industry? Please stop protesting that guy. By the way, this guy saying that about the Sunrise Movement, this guy saying that, I mean, isn't that how is that different than the climate deniers who say the same kind of stuff about? Well, anyway, let's do this. This guy says, "Yay, punching left isn't helping. It's possible to work on multiple objectives at the same time. As someone else pointed out, Joe is ramping up his cabinet, so attempting to influence his administration early is not an unworthy goal." That's exactly right. He's putting frackers and his fracking lobbyists, asbestos lobbyists in his cabinet. So now would be the time. Horse Whisperer. Horse Whisperer. He goes, miss me with this bullshit. These kids are propped up by parents as fronts for grandstanding. This isn't the first time that group has pulled asinine bullshit like this. Okay, please tell me how this isn't exactly the same thing as climate deniers as they say about Greta Thunberg. Tell me that isn't the exact same thing, because it is. It's weird. These kids are propped up by their parents as a front group for environmentalism. It's more likely that their parents didn't give a shit about the environment, and that's what helped us get here. That we now have to rely on fucking kids protesting a demented, warmongering puppet of the fossil fuel industries. Maybe that's what got us here. Their parents actually didn't give a shit. Hey, kids wanting to live on a habitable planet are just pawns for their parents' politics. That's perfect. That's right, horse whisperer. Kids wanting to live on a habitable planet are just pawns for their parents' politics. Hey, can I ask if there are other mass political movements of teenagers that are controlled by their parents? No? This is the first one ever in the history of teenagers and parents? Cool. Who are these amazing parents that achieved this feat? What techniques did they use to get their kids interested in environmental politics? By the way, do you know who the horse whisperer is? It's this guy. According to Democratic insiders, our sources say, inside the Democratic Party, our sources say, that's who the horse whisperer is. You want to know who he is? He's a frickin' lobbyist. He's a con man for the corporation. That's who the horse whisperer is. He's a con man for the corporation. The horse whisperer, if you follow him on Twitter, he's a con man. That's who it is. This is who he is. Senior strategy consultant at Independent. He's highly experienced strategic marketer, working with both agencies and clients on marketing strategy, communications planning, campaign, and content development. He's worked for AT&T, Verizon, Hewlett-Packard, General Motors, BMW, Time Warner, Comcast, Pfizer, Abbott Labs, Bristol Myers Squibb, Aetna, ADP, Avis, British Airways, Cisco, and many others. That's who he is. That's who he is. That's who the guy is who's giving you the centrist third-way corporate bullshit and trying to pass it off as some kind of wisdom. That's who it is. That's who it is. So I guess the horse bullshitter is Biden's one-person correct the record team. Not the horse whisperer. I think we should start calling him the horse bullshitter. Here's the he says here he is calling everyone trash. AOC has stepped away from this kind of immature shitheadedness. Omar and Tlaib routinely act like dumb, immature fucks, though. Tlaib is going to lose her seat. Oh, I guess you were wrong about that, horse bullshitter. She did not lose her seat. Omar is working hard to gin up interest in seeing her lose hers, too. If you understand the actual science and immediacy of the problem, you would be demanding action too. Their generation has a gun to their heads, and you're tone policing them. If you're not going to help, then just go back to brunch, Mr. Horse Bullshitter. Hey, keep doing the same thing over and over and expect different results. That makes you a grown-up. Let's remember, hey, let's focus on winning the White House first. Then we can talk policy. Let's talk about winning the Georgia Senate. Then we'll talk about the midterms. And then 2024, you can never talk about policy. What are you going to hurt the Democrats? Wow. What a huge lane everyone is leaving open for people like the Sunrise Movement and this show. You want to criticize corporatists? You want to That's what we do at this show. We criticize the Democrats, we criticize Republicans, we criticize anybody who's got it coming. And as Ro Khanna said on this show, he's one of the privileged people in the 0.00001%. He's a congressman in the United States. He can take the criticism. So you find anybody running interference for politicians instead of holding their feet to the fire. Nobody will ever hold their feet to the fire over the CARES Act. Nobody. You find me one fucking interview, besides that happened on this show with Ro Khanna, of anybody holding their feet to the fire over the CARES Act. No one will. No one. The most boring host of a news show on YouTube will never hold anyone's feet to the fire over the CARES Act. The most boring host on YouTube will never. Because they don't even know what's in the fucking CARES Act. They don't even know what's in it. And so I just, again, say thank you to everybody who wants to defend politicians. Thanks for the huge lane at the Jimmy Dore Show. 10 million views a month. Hey, everybody, this is the part where I tell you where all our live shows are, but there aren't any. And then this is why I tell you to join our premium program and get extra content, but nobody's got a fucking job. So just enjoy the video.